Hello, everybody. Screamer launches today, March 26th, for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, and Epic Games. But if you bought the digital deluxe edition like I did, you've had access to the game since Monday, March 23rd. In that short time since, the early access came out, my friends and I have fallen in total love with this game. It's an amazing arcade racer that exudes style and confidence and really harkens back to that PS2 era of racing games that was bold, unafraid to try something new and daring. You had games all over the place. You had Burnout, Split Second Blur, Need for Speed, Ridge Racer, Jack X. You had like all different types of racers. Screamer's really just a really refreshing sight. I mean, take a look at this, right? Take a look at this menu. Take a look at this main screen. You have one of the characters calling out Screamer. And watch this. Watch this go into the main menu. I promise you, the first time I saw this, I fell in love with the game. Although I did just patch, so maybe it's just connecting. Yeah, there we go. Alright, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. Really, really cool game. But I know that a lot of people are concerned about the default control scheme for this game, right? Specifically, the twin stick driving, which is to say, the left stick here is for steering, but the right stick is for drifting. If you've played inertial drift before, you kind of know what to expect, which is that you're going to drift left or right with your right stick, and you control the angle of your drift depending on how hard you push the stick, right? It's really intuitive. It feels a lot better, if you give it like a little bit of time and you sit on it. I highly recommend playing with it because it's great for finessing corners. It gives you like the highest degree of control over the game. But at the same time, a lot of people are probably still going to have trouble with it in the beginning and they may not gel with it, right? So for them, I'm making this off-the-cuff video just to show some alternative control schemes that make the game feel more like a traditional single-stick racer, right? Milestone does offer one-handed controls, which is great for accessibility. Let's take a look at what those look like. But you don't need to sacrifice half the controller just to use a single stick, right? And you can tell like this entire half of the controllers is completely unused, right? And acceleration is automatic. So you don't need this actually. You can just remap the drift functions and the buttons and the functions in general to whatever you want. And I'm going to cover two options that I recommend for everybody. The first option is very, very simple. We're going to start with the simplest of the options. You see how steering is already set to the left and the right? Sorry, it's already set to the left and the right stick. We're just going to go. We're going to do the same thing for drift left and drift. Actually, I'm going to go back. I don't know what happened there. We're just going to go drift left, drift right. Now your drifts and your steering are all on the same stick. Everything else is the exact same otherwise. You have your face buttons, you have your echo functions, your boost, your strike, your active shifting, your shield. Everything else is just the same, right? The only time you would ever need to use your right stick would be for overdrive. You can rebind this to whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it because L and R, the left stick and the right stick, that's kind of a generic rage mode input. If you played God of War, if you played Final Fantasy 16, that's limit break in FF16. So, I would personally keep this, but you can rebind this to whatever double input you want, right? So let's go back and head into the arcade. We're gonna go into Time Attack. I haven't finished the story just yet. You can see I've unlocked some, but not all of the characters. And so I'm going to go here, and we're just going to do a quick run in Downtown Run, which is one of the beginner tracks. It's the very first track you play on in the story. And let me turn on my input display. And now we can take a look, right? So, normally where you would need the right stick to drift, you now no longer need to do that. And so it might actually be prudent for me to show what it looks like normally. So this is just me steering normally, right? Very heavy, very slow, lots of understeer, right? And then I need the right stick to drift. So this is my personal preferred way to play the game. Like I said before, I highly recommend it. You can like fine tune your cornering, just tap the drift, do this, right? Control the over, and then you can like finesse your drift with the left stick as well. Very like high level, so to speak, right? So you're gonna want to do that. But let's finish this lap, right? I let go of accelerator a little bit there. I don't think I needed to do that. I probably could have taken that turn a little bit better, right? Also a fun little shortcut for anybody that wanted it. So now you saw that full lap, right? Let's compare now to if I was gonna do drift left here on the left stick and the right stick. And that was 53 seconds. Now I'm just using the left stick, right? Very responsive. You're getting like full turning even at 250 kilometers per hour, all the way up to 300. So really responsive. This is an alternative. This control scheme was actually discovered by my friend Mila, who wanted a more comfortable single stick experience. And they've really been vibing with this one over the one-handed controls. So it's really cool. I'm not touching the right stick at all, right? The only time I would do it is if I was doing overdrive, but like I'm not going to do overdrive anytime soon. You do give up a lot of like, again, you give up that finesse on cornering, but, and you're probably not going to set any records on time trials, right? But if you just wanted to play the game, this is going to be more than enough to get to grips with it. But I actually wanted to go over a second input system that I think is going to give you, let's say, like 90% of the control. If the one that I just showed you is going to give you maybe like 60-70% of the control, this is going to give you closer to 90 to 95% of the control that the default scheme allows for, that the twin sticks allow for. So this one actually, you would want to map your drifts to buttons. Let's say I'm going to do drift left to left trigger. Let's say right trigger over here. And this would require quite a bit of unbinding and rebinding, which isn't too bad, right? I'm just doing A for accelerate, B for brakes, kind of like a traditional old school racing game. Or actually you could do like, X for brakes if you wanted to. I'm just going to keep B. And then you keep your steering the same. I'm just going to delete the redundant inputs for now. And you have your call outs. And then over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep these the same as well. So they're going to be on the bumpers. I'll just get rid of that. They're going to be on the bumpers. So now let's go through half of this thing, right? So now I'm drifting with the right trigger over here. And I'm also able to drift with the left trigger as well. But there is a bit of a problem with this specific rule set. Let's say a lot of the time you're going to want to boost out of a drift. If I'm drifting left, I just had to let go of my button. I had to hold down my left trigger with my middle finger and then use my index finger to pop that boost, which is not really that comfortable, right? So if you ever end up in a situation where the direction you're drifting in is also the direction that holds, that side's bumper is the action that you want to execute, right? You're going to have to shuffle your fingers. You're going to have to shuffle your index finger so that you can do both, right? You get your middle finger on the trigger and then your index finger over here. I would not recommend that. Instead, I would actually recommend doing something like this. Keep your drifts on one side. So instead of using the left side, the left trigger to drift, I would just keep the right bumper to drift. Drift right with the right trigger, drift left with the right bumper. And then what you're going to do with the echo abilities is just going to move them to the left side so that you have all your echo abilities when you need them and you have your drifts when you need them. Let's go ahead and take a look, right? Let's say I'm drifting here. Right, and you can still tap drift, works just fine. And you can still get your abilities off, right? Again, it's not like the highest level of control, But let me do a full lap with this control scheme to show you what I mean. Because it kind of does cover basically everything that you would want. And then over here, you still have your full degree of motion, right? You can like tap to adjust your cornering. Like you don't even really need to touch your right stick. You can, but just tapping can be enough. Like I'm doing this, right? And I still have access to my boost. I took that really poorly. Don't worry about that. Let's see if I can't just get my strike off. And even though I'm going in the right direction, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then I'm going to show you how I'm still able to strike even though I'm going to be drifting right. So go ahead. Or like let's say someone's attacking me, right? Someone's still attacking me, right? Let's say I need to defend. I can still do that while like drifting in either direction, which is really nice. You're done. So yeah, those are the two alternative control schemes I recommend. Just to recap, one of them, let's go back to default. One of them is very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to keep your controls as they are, but you're going to go find steering and, or no, you're going to find drifting, which is I think the first one, and you're just going to map this to the left stick. And make sure to map the correct directions. You want to drift left when you hold left, not when you hold right. So make sure you get the right directions. And the alternative is moving your drifts to the bumpers and the triggers. I recommend having one side for both of your drifts, and then having your accelerator be down here. I suppose you could, if you wanted, keep something default, and then let's say you have your drift left for A, drift right for B. But this feels to me just, you know, maybe it works for you. I would personally not do it. I would have accelerator and brake and use my bumpers and triggers for the drifts and my echo abilities. So yeah, I hope this can be pretty helpful in getting people into the game. It's much simpler. It's an easier way to get to grips with what Screamer is giving you. Like I said, I still really recommend having the default controls. Use the twin stick, get used to the twin stick. If the twin stick's a little too much for you, remap your drifts to buttons, like that second example where I had them all on right bumper and right trigger. And if that still is a little too much for you and you don't mind sacrificing like the degree of control offered by having discrete drifts, just map both steering and drifting to the left stick and don't think about it again. You'll be fine, right? You'll be able to get through the story mode. You'll be able to get through arcade mode. You might not hit like, you know, top scores or the best times, and maybe online you won't hang with like the absolute best. But Screamer is also a very strategic game where using your meter correctly, right, using your echo correctly is going to be very important alongside having clean, good lines. So yeah, with that, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I have also written a very, very long comprehensive guide on Screamer that I'm going to be linking in the description down below. Be sure to check that out. And if you guys are getting the game today, you're going to have a blast. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the game. If you guys are on the fence, I hope this video helped you feel a little more comfortable about whether or not you want to get it. It's an amazing game. Highly recommend it. But yeah, I intend to put out more Screamer content. So if you guys are interested in that, do subscribe, leave a like if you like what you saw, and have a great rest of your day. I will see you on the track, Screamers. Take care.